Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. OG, of course, Tony. Secret Invasion, Episode 6, Home, the series finale. All spoilers, got to talk about the thing to talk about the thing. We're going to get right into it. Quick recap. This episode essentially starts with Nick on the phone talking to his, I'm guess, assuming to be at this point, ex-wife. And
Right.
he hit her with your man from Hollow Knights. He said, I ain't coming home.
Hey, hey, honey. Hey, I ain't never coming
I
back.
ain't never coming back.
Take it easy. That's all he had to say was take it easy, and it'd have been
Which
a wrap,
essentially
bro.
that's what definitely what Nick did, yo. So
Uh,
I was like, dang, yo, that man cold blooded. So
ah.
F your couch. So so next part is really like the main thing is going on is juxtaposition of the president,
Mhm.
Ritson, and Scrotum and that whole thing in the hospital. And then we have Gaia and which we found out to be Gaia, which was Nick Fury. Gaia disguises Nick Fury with Gravik. So
Mhm.
Gravik and Nick Fury, fake Nick Fury, it's funny because like she was really playing it up. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? Like
yeah,
really big time. Like she was
yeah.
like I don't know if radiation acts like asthma, but like she was coughing and
She so Bro,
coughing and stuff. Like come
right.
on, she was really, really hamming it up, as they would say in the industry.
Because in the
So
last episode, he did tell Fury to bring some iodine or
yeah,
something.
bring some iodine pills, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And she was really
hamming it up, Jack.
having I mean, she was tap dancing, boy. I was like, good God. But Lisa, to probably one of the better scenes
Hmm.
in the series is the dialogue between Nick and
Gravik.
Gravik.
Hmm.
And yo, shout out Kingsley Benadir, who I wish they would have let him do this more often. Because between last episode of him basically telling them dudes there was nothing
Yeah,
and him killing all of them, you know what I'm saying? And then,
yeah.
which is like, why? And then this episode of him essentially telling Nick Fury, the reason I'm doing this, not only because you didn't give us a home, but I loved you and you hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
That's really what, like I said before, like he was a kid, even though he was like,
Hmm.
they say he was beyond his years, he still was a kid.
Hmm.
And Papa Nick didn't come through. And
Mm-mm.
basically they say he had us looking like, like beggars out here running around and we should have had a home.
Hmm.
So they had
Yeah.
this little back and forth, and fake Nick gives him the
Harvest.
harvest. What I mean is a whole lot of names in this joint. Is a lot of
Mm,
names.
yeah.
Off the top of the head, what I remember, it was Ghost,
Hmm.
Captain America,
Hmm.
um, Outriders,
Tar
Shatari,
Drax.
Drax, Four
Mantis.
Colossus, Groot, Mantis,
Hmm.
um, Black Panther,
Did I see Thor?
um,
I think I saw Thor.
Thor Odin's son,
Yeah.
um, Thor Odin's son. There was also
Uh, what's
Winter
what's
Soldier
Winter Soldier?
was in there.
What's my other guy that was another one of Thanos' children?
Ebony
Not
Maw
yeah,
was in
Ebony
that
Maw.
joint.
Yeah,
You know
Ebony
what I'm saying?
Maw.
Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight,
Uh-huh.
all of them. Of course, we already saw your boy the first time. The guy's
Yeah.
arm cut off. What's his name?
Yeah. Call of City.
Call of Obsidian. Yeah. So all
Hmm.
of them was in there. It was a bunch. It was a bunch of names, man. And I was like, this seems to be a bit and Captain Marvel. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like
yeah.
it was most importantly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this seems to be a bit excessive.
They basically went OD and saying, you know what? Whatever we find, we're gonna put into this little concoction here. They basically made a serum that was a jungle juice, a college jungle juice serum. I'm sorry, college jungle juice. All my people that went to college and Rush, just party with college. Well, y'all know what jungle juice is. It was just like, what we got? Throw it in there, and they made this serum. And whoever got hit with the radiation or whatever from this serum, my man, they was about to They was about to have every power possibly available at their disposal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like Nick Fury was like, yo, I need to have the backup plan of all backup plans.
Yeah.
Because I don't even understand like who would you want to even get this to? Or who would you trying to blackmail?
Right.
Or like what was your real reason? Like I wish they would have kind of like explored that. So since Gravik thinks that Nick is a human and not a scroll,
Mm-hmm.
scrolling into 3000 pops on, and then boom, he says, yeah, I'm just gonna kill you now since you saw I confirmed his works. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He's shift changing into like, I don't know, like Gravik Hulk,
Yeah.
and then tries to hit him with the punch, and then catches the punch, boom,
Mm-hmm.
it's really Gaia. And then this part for me was like, I feel some okay, I'm sorry, we'll explain it. So they had this fight where they're switching powers and stuff, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
interesting. They use ghost powers a little bit. There's group powers,
Yeah.
Hulk, called Obsidian. Your man
Obsidian.
has like using one arm for this,
Yeah,
Drax
they were
arm. I mean, it was real.
Ebony
Yeah,
Maw with the magic stuff. Listen, yo,
that's the
man.
part I liked a lot. I was like, oh
Yeah.
snap, yo, that was Ebony Maw. So
And basically, Gaia, like, her whole thing was, you killed my mother and father.
yeah,
She
yeah, yeah,
she
yeah,
wanted
yeah,
her,
yeah,
what I'm saying, as the young
yeah,
folks say, she wanted back in blood.
yeah,
And
yeah,
she
yeah, yeah,
and she
yeah.
got it back,
She
for
wanted her
real.
lick back for real.
Uh-huh. And like basically it was a decent fight, you know what I'm saying? A decent fight scene to say the least, to see them interchanging powers. And then, like you said, using their different body parts. Because at one point, it looked like my man had a Hulk leg when he kicked like,
He did.
yeah, okay, I thought I
Yeah.
was, okay. All right, it looked like Gravik had the Hulk leg when he punted her across the daggone the yard and stuff like that, man. And I mean, it was a pretty decent fight. And and it was a callback to a lot of different powers. They went flying all the way up into the air, and she was getting choked out, and she grew her little mantis antennas,
And
and she
put him to
just
sleep.
said, "Sleep, my man."
You know what's funny about that? Like
What's up?
your man fell asleep and he hit the ground so hard he woke back up.
Yeah, right. He was like, "What happened?"
And then the part for me, I'm looking and they're fighting, they're scrapping at the bottom, and she uses the Captain Marvel power and essentially puts a stomach, like a whole abdomen size hole
Yeah,
in Gravik. And
yeah.
to me, I'm like, Gravik's still alive.
Right. I was thinking, because I was like, that extremist gonna kick in
Extremist gonna
anytime,
kick in eventually. You know what I'm
kick
saying?
in eventually or something like that. So, but I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
So Rhodey, so Scrotum, I'm sorry, Scrotum and President Ritson. And this part right here is so hilarious because Scrotum is going in trying to get these nukes to be bombed.
Right.
So they got like the Admiral of the Navy or whatever. They're like, hell, we need to kind of like,
assess this.
We got to put the brakes on this. Yeah. And he's like, hey, did you wake up this morning and take your stupid pills for breakfast?
Like, let's time out real quick on that. The way Scrolly was acting, I'm like, Mr. President, don't you think this dude is acting just a little bit too rambunctious and weird? Like, I know some people want to go to war and stuff like that. He was like, yo, we need to bomb them. Russians, and like
they're protecting the scrolls.
They're protecting the scrolls. And then you got other people like, hey man, like, we don't even know. And he looked at an admiral in the Navy, no telling how many star admirals this woman was, and said, did you wake up and take your stupid pills? I said, no, he didn't. Just no, Jack.
I was so weak. I said, yo,
my grandfather is a chief in the Navy. Nah, that wasn't the flu, Jack. That's
ain't
all
no
I'm
way.
saying. Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. Your man was only like a colonel in the Air Force, and you already know the beef they be having between services.
Right.
They look down at the Air Force. Like, y'all don't know that work. All right, so that exchange happens. Sonya Fallsworth, who I feel maybe the MVP of the episode again, she calls Scrotum, is like, hey, Fury's on his way. You need to move the president. And in this little scuffle of moving the president, Nick Fury actually does show up.
The real Nick
The
Fury.
real Nick Fury.
And he is picking in them security detail
picking
off.
scrolls off left and right. You know what I'm saying? And then they finally get up and get together. And in between all that, the yo, shout out to the dude who got his hand broken because the president said, "Man, give me your gun. You ain't got
give me
hand.
your gun." Yeah, right. What you gonna do? Stop.
They end up cornering the president, and Fury's like, "Yo, like, Scrotum is a scroll," and he's looking like, "Is he a scroll?" Right. And I'm looking at the president like, he's definitely a scroll. And Nick just like, oh, pow. Yo, they've been shooting people in the head this whole series. Yeah. Something serious, yo.
Yeah, this has been a very deathly series by Disney for this to be Disney for real. Yeah, I'm talking headshots.
Yeah. So kill Scrotum. So I forgot the scroll's name. She finally she dies, her cover's blown. And then we have basically a lot of the resolution.
Right. Also told because the president sent the order in for to drop a nuclear bomb on the base that the actual refugee Skrulls was at, and Fury whole thing was like, hey man, you don't want to do that because the people that are actually the Skrulls they're there, and then also people that they have taken over, their real selves are there. You're gonna kill
the actual
them.
Humans are there.
The actual humans are there too, and he was able to call in, call off the attack.
But two things about the people that were there. One, we found out that Rhodey has been a Skrull for a long time.
Yes.
Because he came out hobbling. So yeah, man can't even walk.
Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe
Civil War. Yeah, they swapped him out. He still had the hospital gown on.
Yeah, either Civil War. They swapped him out of Civil War because that's when he broke his. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, they swapped out Ross somewhere during Wakanda Forever. Because he had the same button-up Henley that he had when he got transported with when
the Nightbirds.
Yeah. Okoye broke him out. So they've been putting in some work, yo.
Yeah.
All right. So after that, what we got? We got
the president.
Yeah. Before that, we have Sonya recruiting Gaia. You know what I'm saying? Which is gonna be interesting.
And I love their little dialogue they had there. But she was like, my father got into a deal like this before, and look where it got. And she was like, yeah, we're not gonna make the same mistakes that Fury and your father made and act like we're best friends.
He said, look, yo,
I'm gonna use you. She said, I'm gonna use you. You're gonna use me, but we're just gonna make this world a better place. And she was like, all right, bet I could work with that.
Sounds reasonable. And then we have President Ritson, and this kind of leads me to my first question. President Ritson declares all-out war on any alien that hasn't been born on Earth. You know what I'm saying? So he's taking a real life U.S. sort of immigration policy.
Yeah,
to this.
He's doing what?
Just think about it. Oh, very much so. So with this, just like an illegal alien, if you're born in America as an illegal alien, then you automatically are granted citizenship because you were born on American soil. So for some reason, he felt like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna extend my boundaries to say on Earth,
the planet Earth.
So the crazy, and this makes people started doing their own vigilante justice. So they shooting up Skrulls. They end up shooting the prime minister.
Who was the real prime minister? Yeah, yo man, I've said it once. I'll say it again. Say something like that. If something like that did happen in real life, it would happen just like that.
Pandemonium.
And I said it once. I say it again. Earth is trash. Aliens can come take me away. Simple as that.
Yeah. So that's, and then Nick Fury has a full mea culpa with his wife, kisses her and caresses her in her true form. He can be able to be he's gonna be able to be home in her own skin.
Yeah, her green bald head scallywag skin. You know
I
what I'm
was
saying?
like, don't
I was
kiss
like, like, ew, don't do it. Oh, like,
it.
like I want Priscilla back. Couldn't do
Yeah,
it.
where's my Black Queen? Anyway, so they go up into space together because he knows he's still gonna need her, not even just for like because his
and
spouse, but he
then
wants
to
her to.
the Kree
Yeah,
said they are willing to do peace talks with the Skrulls, and he was just
yeah,
like, look, I ain't good with people, so just you'll
yeah.
feel.
And as we know, watching the Marvel trailer, they not about no peace.
Mm-mm.
They trying to recoup
Yeah.
and get ready for the new war. All right,
Also,
so
one more thing
go
too
ahead.
that took notice of, like you said, the president is like all out. The conversation that him and Fury had at the end, when he was like, "Hey man, that was real stupid what you just did." Or what he
He
said
said that's
that
a
was real
real one-term
one-term
president.
president types. That's some real one-term president types. That was stupid. And then he was just like, "Yeah, well, well, whatever. If you want to protect your scrolls, this is the line they got me. Get them off my planet. I beg your pardon, sir.
Beg your pardon.
Get them off my planet.
Uh-huh.
Got you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So excuse me. So that kind of leads us into, Harrison Ford, Thunderbolt Ross being president by the time in the Marvels. No.
Armor Wars.
New World. No, I'm sorry. Brave New World comes out.
Captain America. They changed it.
Yeah. All right. So I thought it was a great enough recap. First question, because I feel like the episode overall for me was a typical last finale episode of most seasons. Okay, so plot diagram, right? We got your exposition, we have your rising action, then it's your climax, falling action, and for my French people, the denouement. You know what I'm saying? Or just the resolution. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll put that rising action so far up that the climax is at the end. You know what I'm saying? And then there's a little bit of falling action and not a lot of resolution. And that's what kind of happened with this series. Because truly the climax of the series is when Talos dies. Yes. That's the climax.
Yes.
But if you're just watching this as like, you don't not really paying attention to it, you think the climax of the series is when Gravik and Gaia had their fight. But that's not the climax. That's that's just the falling action of the repercussions of what happened. So President Ritson, all out war on the Skrulls. What's going to be the ramifications of this coming up?
Yeah. My man, I have no idea. That's the same. Okay. Let's put things into big picture form as well. Okay. This is like the first phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we really have no idea what or where we're going from this. Going all the way back from phase 1, and at the end of Iron Man 1, we knew what was kind of building up to, okay, the Avengers get together. And then at the end of the first Avengers movie, we knew what the big deal was going to be. It was it was the big purple genocidal, homicidal maniac himself, Thanos. This phase has just been kind of all over the place. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with multi-dimensional stuff. You know what I'm saying? Multiversal stuff. Now you're dealing with aliens, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me, alien god type stuff with the Eternals. And now we're back to ground level. Can he say ground level space galaxy alien type stuff as well right now? So I'm sitting here thinking like, where are we going with this? But like you said, what are the ramifications from this? Like what is the end goal that Marvel is trying to do? Because he didn't just declare war, like you said, on Skrulls. He said on any non-sentient Earth being that's come to this planet. That's a lot of folk that comes to this planet. And I guess you can say that's resting, having one of those moments like, okay, I'm sick of this, going all the way back to Thanos. You know what happened with Thanos and stuff. But it also makes me think another thing. Is he not really human? Is he something else? Because he was talking a lot of overlord, you know what I'm
Come on,
saying? World,
Ritson.
yeah, overlord, world domination type stuff. Because he was speaking for the United States. He was speaking for the entire planet Earth. Like they had like a Earth Council in that little one day that quicker said, "All right, U.S., you're in charge."
That's a good point. And even like how I noticed like this leads into the Marvels, right? So of
Mm-hmm.
course it's gonna be like that Kree scroll. They're gonna be have to be some sort of resolution with them. But
Mm-hmm.
even but just on Earth, it's like how is this gonna impact Daredevil? How's this
Mm-hmm.
gonna impact New York? How's it gonna impact just like the regular goings on? Like how does this flow into Armor Wars, which leads me to Rhodey. So how is Rhodey going to have to deal with the ramifications of him not being here all this time?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you got Scrotum, who was a more than highly likely that he's been feeding information to like all these other groups about Iron Man tech, all this other stuff. So like who's like you know who would come back, right? Justin Hammer supposed to be coming back. So if they bring my boy Sam Rockwell back, I am gonna be so excited.
and I love the character. It's just ridiculous itself, but I love Rockwell as an actor and everything. I just thought about something too when you were talking about Rhodey.
What's that?
If they snatched him up when we said they snatched him up, my man doesn't know Tony's dead.
He doesn't know nothing.
Right. Depending on when they snatched him up, and it looks like they snatched him up after the Civil War when he crashed, burnt, and saying he broke his back and stuff like because he couldn't barely walk or whatever. I to see how
He
he
missed everything.
He
Yo,
missed everything.
And let's just say, like, hypothetically speaking, he real Rhodey didn't get snaps. That means he's been in stasis for like
6 years, 7 years,
10 years, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Because remember, because like that happened in like 2000. When was Civil War? 2016.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
the,
and
yeah, real
in Marvel
time,
time,
it's like 2025, 26 maybe. Yeah, it's like almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know nothing, man. It's gonna be real. And this is the type of character development that I like because we're gonna get to see Rhodey kind of deal with everything and then still have to move forward at the same time. And this is when we get to see Don Cheadle really act.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is gonna be like, yo, Don Cheadle is an actor for real, not just out here doing one bit lines, being Iron Man's playing second fiddle to Iron Man. Like Don Cheadle's sidekick. Don Cheadle's that man. Put some respect on Don Cheadle's name. Man. All right, what was your question?
Okay. My question is always it's a first question is like we kind of talked about it. Where do we go from here? And then my next question is this. Going back to what I said about the president being like trying to be like the overlord of Earth.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when there is one of these countries that's be like, yo, we're sympathetic to the cause of these folk or whatever. Hey, Skrulls, y'all can come chill here and not have to worry about this. But you got this man talking about some, yo, get all these people off my planet. You know what I'm saying? Get off my planet. So what happens with that? Another question is where does Fury go from here? Is Fury going to be able to steal? Is he going to help them or whatever? Because not Fury, but Gaia as Fury had told Gravik, yo, after the first 2 years, you know what I'm saying, looking for a planet, I knew it won't no place that we can find for you guys to go.
So which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Vast universe. And you just said, 2 years, we couldn't find nothing. Hey, I'm just going to use y'all. as this as my, hey, if they really wanted to, they could have used that planet that Thanos made, his retirement home planet.
For real, for real.
Could have used that, but yeah. So I'm just curious, like, where do we go from here, big picture wise? How does this play into the grand, back to what I said, to the grand scheme of what we in right now, phase 5?
Yeah.
And phase 5 going forward.
Yeah, because even with that, because I'm gonna believe that Gravik's still alive. We now have 2 Super Scrolls on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say Gravik pops up out of nowhere and starts wreaking havoc. And then also Gravik can actually emulate any of those heroes and or villains that, you know what I'm saying, that he ingested basically. So and took their DNA. Like he can emulate any of them. So now for me, there's this element of like, is that really so and so?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the part that I kind of like about it, that them keeping Gravik around. Also, Kingsley Ben-Adir did such a good job with the little that they gave him. You know what I'm saying? Like he can really deliver a line and make it feel believable, because especially when he was talking to Fake Nick. So only thing I'm really wondering about is how does like the creative team at Marvel feel about this, just this in general? You know what I'm saying? Just the overall series. Because okay, let's just look at all the Disney Plus shows. Aside from Loki season 1, which had a definitive finale, they've all kind of ended like this.
Yes.
Like pretty decent series for the most part. Like some of them, like, we wouldn't get down with a whole lot, but we understand what they're doing. And the last episode like kind of falls flat. Like this episode, to be honest, it fell flat for me. Like I like the fight part. Like I was like I get it, but I don't really like. This wasn't okay. It felt unnecessary. You feel what I'm saying? Like I felt like we didn't really need to have this. We could have had like them have maybe 3 or 4 powers of like differing, so we can kind of have this kind of offset and battle of wits. But giving Emilia Clarke every power known to man and putting it inside of her.
Yeah.
And again, I heard some people saying like they didn't really understand like her motivation to switch sides. I'm like, dog, they killed her family and they killed her technically. So let's be real about that. But yeah, it's interesting to kind of see like how, like, Lou Esposito, Kevin Feige, and the gang feel about the reception of some of these shows. Like that's what because I know they had a plan, but I'm really wondering, like, are they starting to be concerned with retaining the fandom, and not even more the fandom, just like the casuals? Because as we know with sports, the casual fans are the fans that make you money, not the diehards. You know what I'm saying?
So I see here where they say back in September of last year, Feige stated that Secret Invasion would lead into Armor Wars and also leading into, of course, the Marvels. So I'm guessing maybe sometime between, you know what I'm saying, that show and that movie, and then possibly New World, it's not New World Order, but Brave New World, we might get some type of conclusion with this right here. This is how I wish the series would have ended. Like I said, the fight scene, cool for what it was, but just a little too much. I wish it would have ended kind of like, do you remember that movie that came out like in the 80s called They Live?
No.
With Roddy. Okay, it was a movie with Roddy Piper and Lou Gossett. Was it Lou Gossett Jr.? David Keith, whatever. And basically, aliens were living amongst us, but you couldn't see them because there was some type of signal where you couldn't see them. They were masked and everything like that. But there was like, billboards all over the place. But if you put on these special type of glasses, you could see who were, saying the aliens. You could see the messages they had around, everything like that. Well, it was something that, I wish where at the end of that movie, the main person, Roddy Piper, dies in the movie, but he knocked out the transmitter so they couldn't so they could people could see who them for them true selves or something like that. I wish it was something how it ended where some type of device or anything like that across the world where Skrulls kind of for that 1 second glitched and like they couldn't, what I'm saying, morph or whatever, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
skin change, and everyone's like, what the hell, you know what I'm saying, the Skrulls that were out there, and something like that could have happened. I wish, and then we would have seen more ramification from that. I wish we could have saw something like that.
Yeah. I feel like they kind of that's the kind of the route they probably wanted to go, or so they kind of like it was intimated by the them like just randomly shooting people. But yeah, this would be a lot cleaner. Like for me, like I mean again, I don't write TV shows. So and also I don't have to answer to anybody who's over me when I do feel like writing. So I understand the sheer amount of pressure it has to be to say, hey, I need you to write this thing, but I need you to write it this way.
Right.
And I also need you to kind of direct it this way. And I need you to include these things. So there has to be like a tremendous amount of pressure and anxiety to deliver a product that you not only you as a creator are proud of, but you actually doing what your leadership tells you to do. So that
what you've been tasked with.
Yeah. So aside from that, like I don't like I really wish that it was way more Winter Soldier-esque. You know what I'm saying? But we could have just kind of if it would have been like a wholehearted like political thriller and like really like say, hey, we're gonna go like knee deep into this political thriller genre. Like, cause that's how the first like 3.5 episodes was.
Yes.
And then it turned into just, your regular MCU fare.
Yeah.
But all in all, like I really enjoyed this series. You know what I'm saying? Overall, and of course they're not gonna answer all the questions. That's because that's not what serialized storytelling is.
Right.
But the questions that they leave, like I do appreciate those as well. And speaking of leaving a question, I was very surprised there was no post-credit scene. You know what
Me
I'm saying?
too. I was gonna text you and be like, "Yo, is there a post-credit scene or whatever?" But it wasn't, So
I was very surprised by that. But yeah,
they've been slacking on the post-credit scenes too. Marvel has.
I guess. I mean, the experts. I mean, when you set the bar super high for yourself,
true.
If you miss that bar, people are gonna be mad, and like it's kind of like you almost say, like you're prisoner of your own success at the point. That's how I kind of feel they are right now, because they've done so well when they really shouldn't have done well, and now we thinking they should do well. They come in missing the mark on some stuff. A lot of it, to be honest, is not in their control. Like COVID happening, Chadwick Boseman passing away, this whole crap they got to deal with Jonathan Majors. It's like a lot of things that are just like that things that could have been wrong during the first 3 phases are starting to go wrong now, which is kind of just it's kind of how life works, to be honest.
One more question. Sorry, no,
go. You
got to wrap this up. What about say the president has the war against all non-Earth? What about multi-dimensional things that are on Earth, like Shang-Chi, with I forgot the name. What's the name of the hidden world in between? And you know what I'm saying? Like, what about stuff like that? You know what I mean? Like, how you good?
It's like it's raining. Coming. Yeah, I don't know.
That's good. Squirrels coming for you.
Talo.
Yeah, Talo. What about that? You know what I'm saying? So
it's some interesting. This series leaves a lot of questions, and that's something I'm not even thinking about at this moment. Go ahead.
As one of my favorite wrestlers in the 80s said, Roddy Piper, just when you think you have the answers, I change the question. And that's exactly what
very good quote, because that's kind of really what they did with this series. It made us kind of rethink a lot of things. I'm pretty sure there's way more Skrulls out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be interesting to see them pop up
Hmm.
from time to time. Let's just say we do Secret Wars and they bring a hero and it really just be like a scroll.
Right. All right. And I mean, don't and think about it. At the end of WandaVision, I mean, Monica Rambeau had that scroll that came to her that was part of the that came from Sword. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yo, they're everywhere, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but now that's it for this. We still doing the recap tomorrow for
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with the first season. Yeah.
cool. Yeah, yeah. We'll get it tomorrow and do the recap of season 1 of Rebels,
Mm-hmm.
which yeah, which has been a great rewatch, man.
It has
Like
been.
if y'all haven't watched Rebels, man, like I know
Yeah.
Clone Wars may be a bridge too far.
Uh-huh.
Go back and watch Rebels.
Yeah.
I am imploring you. It
Yeah.
is
Great writing.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Like I forgot how good Rebels was, man. Go back
Yeah.
and watch that. We'll recap season 1 tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And is that it for now?
That might be it for now.
Ain't a movie coming out.
What I asked you yesterday, you gonna watch? You want to do one on that?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go watch They Clone Tyrone. We're gonna review
They
that.
clone Tyrone. Yes.
Yeah, on
Excellent.
Netflix. So if
On
you got a
Netflix.
Netflix, you can just go watch it
Yeah.
in your own
Yeah.
time in your drawers at the house. But yeah, that's it. We see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe on all the stuff, especially on YouTube and on IG. We appreciate you guys. See you next time.
Peace out.